Okay, for this session, we're going to be talking about emotional management. How we can better handle situations that just seem to affect our emotions. And what we want to do first is understand the difference between feelings and emotions. Feelings are something that occur, and they are very temporary. Emotions are more permanent. And emotions can actually dictate our actions. See, we can get hurt by someone, and we can feel hurt. But if we allow that hurt to go way down deep into the chambers of our soul, we then become more bitter, and we take that anger with us through life. And then it's an emotion. And anything that triggers that emotion, okay, the person who triggers it will end up having a fight with them. Situations could trigger it. A lot of things can happen if we don't understand the difference between feelings and emotions. So certain feelings we want to learn how to manage because they are temporary. But the emotions are much more permanent, and they can affect the way we act on the job, with our students, with our spouse, at home, okay, with administration, with parents. They can cause us to have very negative reactions. The trick is to remain consistent. Consistent in our emotional response is it's really critical for success in all relationships. The idea, oftentimes we can become very mercurial. We go up and down and all around. Now, I'm not saying that we don't have bad days, and I'm not saying that people don't get depressed, and they get situationally depressed, or they become situationally reactive. The trick is, how do we manage it and get out of it? Now, I'm not a doctor, for sure. And certainly, if someone is having severe problems in this area, you do need to see a doctor. So I'm not one to determine whether or not you're having a clinical issue. But I will say that if the situations dictate our emotions, we have to determine what those situations are, and we have to avoid becoming reactive. Things don't happen to us. This is what we normally say. Why did this happen to me? What went wrong here? And so they just happen. Whether they're to us or not, they happened. And we happened to be there when they did happen. We happened to be there when everyone was getting bawled out in the faculty room. We happened to be there when two kids had a fight. Now we're called on the carpet. So, handling the emotions associated with those situations is critical. We want to get it under control. We want to see what situations give us a problem. We want to modify the situation, and we want to shift our attentional focus away from it as much as we can. Change your thoughts. There is something that I am aware of that's called cognitive behavioral therapy. All this is thought substitution. And if you go back to the principle of responsibility, you'll understand why, we have 5 different areas that we're responsible for: thoughts, words, actions, attitudes, and motives. Our thoughts will drive our words and our actions. And we have to be aware of what we're thinking. We have to practice metacognition. And we have to be aware of what's coming into our mind that's causing our emotions to get out of control. Then we have to work on different strategies to help us change our response to certain situations. if the response is negative. Oftentimes, we have to differentiate between a reaction and a response. Reactions are usually negative. Sometimes responses can be very positive. Now, it may not be the correct response, but when you were responding, you were under control in a certain situation. We tell our kids to clean their room. We tell our students to please be in their seat. We're going to respond when they don't. If we react, there's too much emotion in it, and then, of course, we get out of control. So understand those differences. We have to learn in stressful situations how to take the emotion out of those situations. And when you think about it, outwardly, we want to be peaceful. But if our thoughts are driving us, and if anger is driving us, and if bitter is driving us, you'll be plagued inwardly by that emotion. And you have to understand what it is that's plaguing you. You got to take the steps to overcome a past hurt. Too often people will do what I call displace their anger. They may be angry about their upbringing. They may be angry about who their parents are. Again, go back to the unchangeables. See what's really causing you to be reactive. Maybe there's guilt involved. Maybe you've done things that you don't want other people to know about. Maybe you've done things to other people that you're not happy about. Maybe something was done to you, that causes you to be reactive. Whatever it is, if something was done to you, you have to learn how to forgive. I will tell you this. You can go. Someone can come to you and say to you, I'm sorry about what happened. Will you forgive me? Well, of course you're going to forgive them, but the bottom line is you don't forget. So you don't want to have a passive response in that situation. Your response needs to be active, where you say, you know what, I do forgive you, but don't let it happen again. That helps you draw boundaries and prevents you from becoming more angry later, because you allowed someone to get away with it and you felt like a doormat because they stepped all over you. Now, how can we apply this? In order to get our emotions under control, there's 8 things here. There's 8 of them, and you can take a look at them. Now, you could do just about any one of these things every day. Getting the proper rest is rather easy, if in fact you can sleep. Learn how to be grateful. Maybe you need, as part of your journaling exercises, create a gratefulness type of a journal where you can write down the things that are good instead of focusing on the negative. That would fall into helping you fight negative thoughts. So the journaling, about things that you're grateful for. Fight the negative thoughts through the journaling activity. Then spend time outside. Too often we're trapped inside. We're in a classroom all the time. We're in a building. We don't let our kids get outside enough. Take a walk. Do something in the outdoors. Do a nature walk. Do something that gets you outdoors. Meditate. Meditation is if you know what you're going to meditate on, and you can maybe have an opportunity to take a course in meditation, do it. Do it. And learn how to drive out some of the negative thoughts and the things that are troubling you. And then exercise. And I'm not talking, and you'll see as we move through the course in session 8, which will probably be Module 9, okay, as you go through it, there's 4 dimensions that we're going to look at. The physical dimension, mental dimension, emotional dimension, and then the spiritual dimension. Well, the physical dimension is exercise. And you don't have to join a gym. Take a walk, do some calisthenics, stretch, there's a lot of things that you can do at home. And then getting the proper rest. Often, the more we take care of our body, the better we feel mentally and emotionally as well. Now, there's videos that are part of the course that are that you can get to. I encourage you to watch that Covey video on the 5 emotional cancers that you have to take a look at, because they drive what we think. They drive our thoughts. And always remember, our first responsibility is our thoughts, what we're thinking. And then number 6, talk to someone. And if it's someone you need to talk to professionally, do it. If it's someone that you trust, talk to them. Sometimes just getting things off your chest can make you feel better. These are all very practical things to do. They're very practical, they're very easy, and they're very basic. Take the time to do them. Please take a look at the rest of the course, at the rest of this module. Go over the things. Take a look at your discussion questions. Journal. Okay, please get the journal out, the one that you've downloaded to your computer. Journal about this topic. This is key. If you want to be transformed, we got to change our thoughts first and understand the difference between emotions and feelings. We'll see you in the next presentation.